The public image of Cardi B has changed dramatically over the last 2 years, and by 2026, even longtime fans have started describing her as a completely different person from the artist who once dominated social media with non-stop chaos, impulsive live streams, and viral arguments. What people are now witnessing is not simply a celebrity getting older. It is the transformation of someone who appears exhausted by the pressure of fame and increasingly focused on survival, stability, and long-term legacy rather than internet dominance. For nearly a decade, Cardi B built her entire brand around unpredictability, from her breakout years on Instagram and Love and Hip Hop to becoming one of the biggest rappers in the world. Her appeal came from the fact that audiences felt they were seeing someone completely unfiltered. She argued publicly, laughed publicly, cried publicly, and rarely hid her emotions behind polished celebrity training. That rawness became the foundation of her connection with fans because people believed she was one of the few stars who still behaved like a regular person despite extraordinary fame. However, by early 2026, fans began noticing a significant shift in her tone, body language, and overall presence. During appearances on programs such as The Tonight Show, Cardi appeared noticeably calmer and more reflective, often pausing before answering questions rather than reacting impulsively. Online, she started referring to this phase of her life as her Jesus year, framing it as a period of personal rebirth and emotional reset. That language immediately caught attention because it represented a major contrast from the version of Cardi who once treated social media like a battlefield. Observers also began focusing on her physical demeanor during interviews and public appearances. Fans repeatedly described her as more guarded, more serious, and far more controlled than before. Many interpreted it as the posture of someone transitioning from entertainer into executive. Instead of projecting chaotic energy, Cardi started carrying herself like a businesswoman protecting a growing empire. Some fans admired the maturity. Others quietly wondered whether the pressure behind the scenes was becoming too heavy. A major reason for that emotional shift appears connected to the collapse of her long and highly public relationship with Offset. For years, their relationship dominated headlines through breakups, cheating allegations, reconciliations, and public apologies. The cycle became so familiar that many fans assumed they would always eventually return to each other regardless of the controversy. But according to Cardi's own recent comments, the 2024 divorce represented something much deeper than another temporary separation. She described it as a moment of being reborn, signaling that the emotional connection had finally ended beyond repair. What makes that transition particularly significant is the way she now speaks about Offset publicly. Instead of emotional outbursts or online arguments, she refers to him almost exclusively as a co-parent. The dramatic energy that once fueled their public narrative appears largely gone, replaced by emotional distance and practicality. Fans who followed their relationship for years immediately recognized how different this phase feels compared to previous breakups. At the same time, her relationship with Stefan Diggs introduced a completely different kind of pressure. Unlike Offset, whose chaotic public image mirrored Cardi's own earlier years, Diggs represented a more polished and reserved celebrity world tied to professional sports culture. Initially, many fans viewed the relationship as Cardi finally leveling up into a calmer and more stable phase of life. But by 2026, that narrative had become far more complicated. Rumors surrounding a breakup intensified after fans noticed both Cardi and Diggs unfollowing each other during Super Bowl weekend in February 2026. Social media quickly exploded with speculation that the relationship had quietly collapsed behind the scenes. However, only weeks later, Diggs appeared at Cardi's Washington, D.C. tour stop alongside family members, and footage later surfaced showing Cardi leaving the venue with him. Those moments immediately triggered rumors of reconciliation and suggested the two were trying to navigate their relationship away from constant public commentary. The emotional weight of these transitions became even more visible as Cardi openly discussed motherhood. By 2026, she was balancing life as a mother of 4 children, while simultaneously managing tours, business launches, public scrutiny, and relationship controversies. Unlike earlier years where she leaned into internet drama for entertainment value, her current messaging focuses heavily on privacy, peace, and protecting her children from online toxicity. She has repeatedly pleaded with fans to stop dragging her family life through social media debates, emphasizing that many of her decisions are driven by her desire to create stability and security for her children. What stands out most in this current era is the recurring theme of exhaustion. Cardi frequently talks about feeling emotionally and physically drained, describing moments where the pressure of public life makes her want to retreat completely. Even when discussing success, there is often an undertone of fatigue beneath the confidence. That emotional honesty is one reason many fans still feel deeply connected to her, despite the dramatic personality shift. One of the clearest signs that Cardi B is entering a completely different phase of her career is the way she now approaches business. In earlier years, music and internet visibility were the center of her identity. Viral moments, chart success, and online dominance fueled her rise. But by 2026, Cardi appears far more focused on ownership, long-term wealth, and building a legacy outside of music. That transition became most visible through the launch of her hair care company, Grow Good Beauty, which officially debuted in April 2026. Unlike many celebrity brands that rely almost entirely on fame and luxury pricing, Cardi repeatedly emphasized that this business represented something personal and culturally rooted. She connected the products directly to her Dominican heritage and her own experiences with hair care growing up. She also stressed that the line was not designed as celebrity merch, but as a serious long-term company intended to remain accessible, with products priced below $20. The language she used around the launch reflected a major mindset shift. Earlier in her career, Cardi often approached public appearances with spontaneous humor and unpredictability. During the Grow Good rollout, however, her tone became much more strategic and corporate. Fans noticed that she increasingly sounded less like a rapper promoting a side hustle and more like an executive presenting a carefully planned business venture. That distinction matters because audiences have started viewing Cardi less as a chaotic internet celebrity and more as someone intentionally building toward mogul status, similar to figures like Rihanna or Beyoncé. The same evolution has become visible in her live performances and touring strategy. Her 2026 Little Miss Drama Tour has been described by both fans and critics as her most polished production to date. Rather than relying heavily on controversy or viral antics to generate attention, the tour focuses on large-scale stage production, stronger choreography, and a more refined performance structure. Many longtime observers interpreted the tour as proof that Cardi is trying to reposition herself within the industry as a stable, stadium-level act capable of sustaining long-term mainstream relevance. At the same time, her relationship with social media has undergone one of the most dramatic changes in her public life. Earlier versions of Cardi often treated Instagram Live and Twitter as emotional release valves. Arguments could last for hours, and impulsive reactions frequently became headline news. In 2026, those marathon online battles have become noticeably rare. Instead of aggressive clapbacks, Cardi now uses social media for calmer, more reflective conversations with fans. One of the biggest differences audiences have noticed is her willingness to appear vulnerable without turning vulnerability into spectacle. Many of her recent videos show her without makeup, often speaking casually from bed or while wearing a bonnet, discussing exhaustion, motherhood, pressure, or emotional burnout in a quieter tone. Rather than trying to dominate internet narratives, she increasingly appears focused on explaining herself honestly and then stepping away from the conversation. Another noticeable shift is the way she now handles controversy. In previous years, Cardi frequently deleted posts after emotional reactions or online arguments escalated. Fans now point out that she deletes far less content because her posting appears more intentional from the beginning. That subtle change reflects broader public perception that Cardi is actively trying to move away from the impulsive image that once defined her. Despite the professional growth, however, there remains a visible emotional tension surrounding this era of her life. Cardi repeatedly references exhaustion, describing moments where the pressure of balancing motherhood, business, touring, and public scrutiny feels overwhelming. Several interviews and live stream moments have carried what fans describe as "I'm tired" energy, where success is discussed alongside emotional burnout rather than celebration alone. That exhaustion appears especially connected to the intensity of online scrutiny surrounding her family and relationships. Cardi has openly admitted that constant public commentary about her parenting, relationships, and personal decisions sometimes makes her feel afraid and emotionally drained. Instead of embracing the attention the way she once did, she increasingly talks about wanting peace and privacy over clout and constant visibility. Fans have also noticed significant changes in the people surrounding her publicly. Earlier in her career, Cardi was frequently associated with nightlife culture, viral personalities, and entertainment gossip circles. More recently, she has been seen spending increasing time around executives, entrepreneurs, and business mentors. One name repeatedly linked to this transition is Emma Grade, whose connections to major fashion and beauty brands represent the type of corporate influence Cardi now appears drawn toward. That shift in environment has contributed heavily to the growing perception online that Cardi is no longer chasing internet relevance the way she once did. Instead, she appears focused on transforming herself into a long-term business figure capable of surviving beyond music trends and viral moments. For many fans, this is why the current version of Cardi feels so different from the woman who originally captured the internet's attention years ago. What makes the current phase of Cardi B's career so compelling is that it feels less like a traditional celebrity reinvention and more like someone actively trying to survive the emotional consequences of extreme visibility. The public conversation around her in 2026 is no longer centered only on music, fashion, or controversy. Increasingly, people are discussing her emotional state, her exhaustion, and the visible ways fame appears to have changed her relationship with the outside world. Across platforms like X, Reddit, and TikTok, one phrase appears repeatedly when fans describe Cardi now: she feels different. That observation is not necessarily negative. In many cases, supporters interpret the change as maturity and growth. They believe she has evolved from a chaotic internet personality into a woman trying to protect her peace, her children, and her future. But alongside that admiration exists another feeling that surfaces constantly in fan discussions: concern. A growing number of observers believe Cardi looks emotionally overwhelmed despite her success. Fans often point to her guarded body language, her increasingly private tone, and the way she now seems to approach public attention cautiously rather than enthusiastically. Earlier versions of Cardi appeared energized by chaos. The current version often sounds like someone trying to minimize damage while still carrying enormous responsibilities. That tension becomes especially noticeable whenever discussions turn toward her relationship with Stefon Diggs. Public speculation surrounding the relationship has remained relentless throughout 2025 and 2026, particularly following breakup rumors, social media unfollows, and ongoing internet debates about trust, compatibility, and public image. Fans repeatedly describe Cardi as someone who now appears emotionally protective of herself in ways they had never seen before. Part of that perception comes from the language she uses publicly. Instead of presenting relationships as dramatic fairy tales or emotional roller coasters, Cardi increasingly frames love in terms of peace, stability, and emotional safety. Those priorities suggest someone who has experienced the cost of public heartbreak repeatedly and no longer romanticizes chaos the way audiences once expected her to. Another major factor shaping public perception is motherhood. By 2026, Cardi's identity as a mother has become inseparable from how fans interpret her decisions. She frequently describes her work ethic as a sacrifice made to ensure her children never experience the financial struggles she faced growing up. That perspective changes the emotional framing of her career entirely. Success no longer appears connected to proving herself publicly. Instead, it appears tied to securing long-term stability for her family. That shift may explain why Cardi now speaks so openly about fear and emotional fatigue. In multiple public moments, she has admitted that intense online scrutiny sometimes makes her want to retreat from public life altogether. Earlier in her career, criticism often triggered confrontation. Now it more commonly triggers exhaustion. The difference is significant because it reveals someone increasingly aware of the psychological toll constant visibility can create. At the same time, her transformation into a business-focused figure continues accelerating. The combination of grow good beauty, high-level touring, executive relationships, and more strategic public appearances suggests Cardi is actively trying to reposition herself for longevity beyond rap culture alone. Rather than chasing every trending moment, she appears focused on building structures that can survive long after internet attention moves elsewhere. This is why so many fans now describe her current phase as her CEO era. The phrase is not only about money or business ventures, it reflects the perception that Cardi is becoming more controlled, more selective, and more intentional about everything she allows the public to see. Even her silence carries a different weight now, because audiences recognize she is no longer reacting impulsively to every headline or criticism. Still, the emotional contradictions remain visible. Beneath the polished businesswoman image is someone who frequently admits she is tired, emotionally stretched, and trying to hold multiple worlds together at once. That vulnerability may ultimately be why fans remain invested in her evolution. Despite the fame, wealth, and transformation, Cardi continues to present herself as someone struggling in real time with pressure, identity, relationships, and the cost of growing up publicly in front of millions of people. As of 2026, the public no longer sees Cardi B only as a rapper who went viral through personality and controversy. Increasingly, she is viewed as a woman attempting to transition from internet survival into long-term legacy building while carrying the emotional weight that comes with global fame. Whether that transition ultimately brings her the peace she talks about so often remains unclear, but the shift itself has already become one of the defining celebrity transformations of this era.